Hello and welcome to News Round, a recap of stories in the week. I'm Teniola Shoboale. The headlines. Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution begins sitting with victims sharing testimonies of police brutality. Panel visits Lekki Toll Gate and Military Hospital in Ikoyi. Police parade alleged looters across states in the aftermath of the SARS protest. Emotions run high over looted Kogi Central Medical Store. Plus, 140 migrants drown off Senegal's coast in what the United Nations describes as tragic. Those are your headlines. News Round begins with a ray of hope for victims of abuse in the hands of the police, as a judicial panel of inquiry set up by the state government began sitting this week. So far, the panel has received one testimony, while the management of the Lekki Concession Company also appeared before the body to give their own account of the events of October the 20th, 2020. The panel also visited the Lekki Toll Plaza for a first-hand assessment.
With the two youth representatives, Rinu Odulala and Temitope Majekudumi, and a representative from the Human Rights Commission, Lucas Koyejo, sworn in, the panel is set to sit. Led by retired Justice Doris Okobi, the panel walks in as they kickstarts the sitting.
Versus Federal Special Anti-Robbery Force, SARS.
The first petitioner is called to testify.
I, swear by Almighty God. Swear by Almighty God.
According to him, his ordeal with the SARS operatives started in the year 2012.
I spent about 47 days with SARS at Ikeja. When they did all sorts of things to me, they tortured me. I even know two of their names. One is Inspector Sunday, they call him Baba Ijapa. The other one is ACP Haruna, they call him Baba Ghana. So, I don't know, the torture was just too much. They suspended me, they tore my clothes, used my singlet, hung on my neck, put up a bucket of cement that bended me like this. A lot of things anyway. I still have some scars all over. They took over my house, they sold my car, they took over some properties, even my belongings inside my house, my generator, my inverter, and all of that.
You have not told us whether, at the end of the day, those things were given back to you.
Never. Graciously to God, the Honorable Court by Honorable Justice Ibrahim Buba gave a judgment in my favor, a ruling in my favor, at 10 million naira as exemplary damages. Until date, I've not heard anything, nothing whatsoever from them. No compensation has been made ever since till date.
In suit FHC/L/C/538 of 2014, in the case of Mr. Koliagu Abunike and Prince Cletus Ogbu and others, is admitted as Exhibit A.
A total number of 4 petitions were called today, but only one case was heard.
I'm glad that we witnessed the first case being called, and I think it behoves of me just to reassure the panel of the full cooperation of the state, therefore need all hands on deck to unravel a lot of things that has happened in our society.
Getting legal representation may be a difficult task for some. That's why the Nigerian Bar Association has put measures in place to help in that capacity.
Represent them, firstly helping them put together a petition, and also helping them come to present the person. As you can see, a lawyer is needed.
It's day 2 of the Lagos Judicial Panel sitting, with the Lekki shooting top on its agenda. The panel had summoned the managing director of the Lekki Concession Center, Yomi Omomuwasan, to give evidence.
We'll be happy if we are given some time to retain the services of an external counsel and come properly before the tribunal.
The program for today on the part of the panel is to visit the locus. I'm sure that will in no way affect your request or application to have a counsel. We would only visit the locus, take note of what we see at the locus, and proceedings will be subsequent to the visit.
This is the toll area.
Mr. Omomuwasan leads the team on a tour of the facility, showing the damage done on the property, indicating that a CCTV camera located on the mast remains intact.
Yes, I can. Okay, so that's the camera. Is it functional?
That's the camera in the footage we will supply.
Yes.
Up to the point where the damage did not occur. Around, we'll see, because I've not had enough time to. But if there's a network today, that camera will work.
He also gives the assurance that the footage from the night of the shooting is available. The panel also finds scattered around the toll gate area bullet shells, 5 in total. Next, the panel pays an unscheduled visit to the military hospital at Falomo in the Ikoyi area of Lagos State. For about 30 minutes, the panel members, journalists, and everyone else were denied access to the facility by the military personnel.
We are waiting for them to grant us access to inspect the mortuary.
After some consultation amongst themselves, the team is led into the premises. And into this building, which is supposed to be the hospital, but as you can see, is an uncompleted facility.
We are going to the accident and emergency department. We are not interested in it. We'll go to the north. For the accident and emergency, let's go to the north. Okay.
Moving to the building, which is supposed to be the morgue.
This is the morgue.
We discover it's under renovation. They say the premises has not been in use since October 2019.
So, sir, are we saying that the bodies that were here were transferred out?
October last year, she?
Sir, if this military hospital is not operating,
Can we go now, please?
If this military hospital is not operating,
please.
Thank you very much.
The panel is calling on members of the public to bring their petition with evidence so that the panel can sit on it timelessly. Victoria Idowu, Channels Television News.
Still on policing, this time in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, where the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, is taking stock of its facilities destroyed following the SARS protest. According to the police boss, 53 persons have been arrested so far in connection with the looting which occurred early in the week.
The tale of woes that trailed the SARS protests as the police hierarchy counts their losses. The Inspector General of Police is received at the FCT command as he begins an assessment of the damage done to police facilities in the nation's capital. According to the FCT Police Command, 10 officers died during the violence, while 196 persons were arrested for the attacks on police facilities.
This series of events led to the tragic loss of about 10 lives, several persons with various degrees of injuries. Some vehicles and properties set ablaze, while others were vandalized. The most devastating of these activities was the malicious burning of Dus Amakaranta police outpost.
While applauding the officers for their resilience during the protests and its aftermath, the IGP encourages the officers to be assertive while discharging their duties.
We'll encourage you to be professional in performing your duties. We'll encourage you to be civic. But if anybody touches you, if anybody comes to assault you, you can also protect yourselves. When we talk of human rights, the police are human. So the rights of police officers will also be protected. So we are sending the message that legally we have the right to protect ourselves. But while we are doing that, we'll make sure that until we are in danger.
From the command, the team proceeds to the force headquarters, where the police boss sets up a committee with a mandate to assess and report within 3 weeks the level of vandalization done to police posts and facilities across the country.
The terms of reference of the committee are: 1, to physically visit the scenes and capture the pictorials of all damages done to police infrastructure and personnel. 2, establish the weapons holding that were lost during the incident. 3, verify the fatalities suffered by the police. 4, undertake visit to the families of the deceased police officers and those injured. 5, give the cost implication of the losses in terms of facilities, weaponry, and other assets in custody of the Nigeria police. And 6, provide suggestions on possible interventions towards reconstruction, rekeeping, and requisite support for the families of the deceased and the injured. It should be made clear that the assignment of the committee is not a witch hunt venture. It is rather a stock-taking exercise that is intended to properly document the losses of the Nigeria police force for the purpose of strategic planning. The outcome of the exercise should be an authentic and verifiable reference document for our reconstruction and equipping plan.
He also visited the NYSC orientation camp in Kubwa, which also came under attack last week Tuesday. And according to him, 53 persons have been arrested following the incident. The IGP plans to visit other facilities in other parts of the country.
You want him here?
Yes, sir.
When Newsround returns in just a moment, we'll have more as police parade alleged looters across other states in the aftermath of the SARS protests. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. While the boss of the police force is taking stock of destroyed facilities in Abuja, it's the same in Lagos as the state command paraded over 200 alleged looters arrested across the metropolis. The Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumusu, said operatives went on a house-to-house search of all looted items.
Hundreds of suspected looters all line up on one side of the police headquarters in Lagos. On the other side are these vandalized items from warehouses and departmental stores across the metropolis. The State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumusu, itemizes some losses recorded and informed that efforts are being made to recover more looted items.
As far as I'm concerned now, there's no NSA person there. But the NSA people are responsible, reliable, and responsible as public. Can see all these people that are here. No NSA person now will go and carry a television. No. No NSA person now will go and kill. No. So they just took in over that. And you know, when they mix with them, we need a lot of patience, a lot of intelligence, a lot of professionalism.
According to the state police boss, this development also provided an opportunity for residents to lay claim on missing items.
We have intelligence. We've sent our men out. Where our police are taking now, we are recovering them. And we are punishing them. They have gone out on that.
These suspects are said to be charged. However, Those that would be convicted would have to wait a while for their COVID-19 tests to be conducted and the results delivered before being sent to the correctional centers.
And now to Adamawa State, where over 60 out of the 110 tractors carted away by residents in the aftermath of the SARS protest are said to have been recovered. This comes on the heels of an assessment tour of damaged facilities by Governor Umaru Fintiri, who described the looting of facilities in the state as a war against the people's commonwealth.
Following the period of wanton looting in Adamawa State, the Governor Umaru Fintiri is on this tour to get a feel of the extent of damage to public and private facilities. Carnage is what greets him at every site, whether at the Upper Benue River Basin Development Agency warehouse, the Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency warehouse, or the Coalition Against COVID-19 store. The premises of the Northeast Commodity Association, where tractors meant for the Anchor Borrowers program were housed, was not spared.
Every item you have seen, either fertilizer, herbicide, chemical, including the tractors, all are loans taken to support agricultural production.
A suspected looter denies involvement.
I did not loot the tractor. I was only approached by some people to assist them move it to my vehicle, which I did, and only later realized what happened. So I informed the police. But despite that, I was still arrested.
In the State Primary Healthcare Development Center, cartons of documents are all that's left behind. The headquarters of Customs Service was also broken into. But in all this, there is some good news.
Over 60 tractors have been recovered and returned. They are in the custody of the security agency. And we will continue to monitor till evening to see if they are still complying with the order. Even though reports reaching me, they are complying substantially. And we will, from here, go back, evaluate the situation, and take the best decision in the interest of the state.
Also, hundreds of people have been arrested in connection with the destruction and for violating the state-imposed curfew. At this point, the total loss to the state can only be imagined. The governor is, however, hopeful that more looted goods will be returned.
Now, while the stock-taking of destruction that followed the SARS protest is ongoing, the Kogi state government has expressed dismay over the looting of the state's medical store. During a tour of the facility, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Saka Audu, broke down in tears over the extent of damage.
Health officials in Kogi State on a tour of a central medical store complex, or what's left of it. Built under the Essential Drugs Program of the state government, it's from here that drugs and hospital equipment are distributed to health centers and general hospitals across the 21 local government areas. Sadly, the facility is not spared in the looting and vandalism carried out in the aftermath of the SARS protests. Test kits, drugs, and other pharmaceutical consumables are missing, while machines for magnetic resonance imaging, computer tomography, digital mammography, digital radiography, refrigerators for vaccines, solar power units, laboratory equipment are vandalized. The damage is beyond anything the state government had imagined, the losses running into billions of naira. It's too much to bear for the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Saka Audu, who breaks down in tears while briefing the media on the situation after the inspection.
It is indeed a very unfortunate development
that the states will find very difficult to recover from. As we don't have the capacity to provide what have been carted away or vandalized in a short time.
Indeed, it's an emotional briefing for the state health authorities. Even the executive director of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Abubakar Yakubu, is equally moved to tears as he tries to explain how everything was lost in just 2 hours.
This is the right time for us to come together, to stay together, and to defeat this menace of our society.
The Kogi State government says it will take a miracle for its health sector to recover from the losses. A miracle, it prays, will manifest soon.
Now, News Round winds down with reactions from the United Nations over a deadly incident involving migrants. The UN says it's deeply saddened by the drowning of at least 140 people off the Senegalese coast, describing it as the deadliest shipwreck recorded in the year 2020.
International Organization for Migration, which says it is deeply saddened by the drowning of at least 140 people off the coast of Senegal. This is the deadliest shipwreck recorded in 2020. Local community members told IOM that the vessel carrying around 200 migrants left Mbour, a coastal town in western Senegal, last Saturday and was trying to reach the Canary Islands. The boat caught fire a few hours after departure and capsized near Saint-Louis on the northwest coast of Senegal. 59 people were rescued. The body of 20 others were found, while 120 are presumed dead. The government of Senegal and IOM have arranged a mission to travel to Saint-Louis to assess the needs of survivors and provide immediate psychosocial assistance. IOM is calling for unity between governments and partners and the international community to dismantle trafficking and smuggling networks that take advantage of desperate youth. With the tragic shipwreck, at least 414 people are known to have died along this route since the beginning of this year. The data was compiled through IOM's Missing Migrant Project. And in all of 2019, it had recorded 210 fatalities.
And that's News Round this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Teniola Shoboale.